Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Urban Woman Tarot. So today I'm going to be doing a general reading using the Greer tarot deck. I have had a few people comment about how bright this deck here is on camera, and I would just like to say, like, hold on a second, like hell yeah, heavens yes, it is. This is one of my favorite card decks. You know, they say each tarot deck, each card has 4 or 5 different meanings, upright as well as reversed. Then you also have to intuit like the messages on the cards, and like these cards here, the depiction on them is so, I mean, they're just, as you can see, they're bright, they're bold. They really stand out in the readings. So, one reason why I like to use this deck is because they do stand out very good in the readings. You can see them picture clear, although I do have not a shitty camera, but it's not the best. So they stand out good on there. And then, too, on top of that, I love the depictions of the meanings on this card deck. Each card deck has its own depiction. And the depictions on these, I love them. I love the way they're just depicted in this version by this person the best. This is like easier for me to read the cards. I don't know, I just love this deck the best. So anywho, hopefully you love it as much as I do. But anywho, so I'm going to do a 10 card Celtic cross spread reading with this deck, and then I'm going to go back through and clarify with one of my other favorite decks, the Halloween Oracle. Okay, so I've already shuffled, and we're going to see. This is a general message for everyone. Also keep in mind there's been a full moon reading that's posted to my page, and some other readings as well if you want to pop over there and check those out. Alright, so now, we have the 5 of Cups here. So here's the situation. Someone's crying over spilt milk. Someone is focused upon the things that did not go right. Okay? If they would just turn around, they have some very emotionally fulfilled things behind them. The thing about this card here, 5 is all about change. The Roman number 5. 5 is about change. There are 2 cups. They have the 2 of Cups behind them if they will just turn around. But this card represents grief, loss, disappointment, being mourning. So it's still, you know, there's still this gloominess in the air. I mean, you see how it's like stormy, and if you know anything about like seasonal, like gestational seasonal depression, then that would be this in this card. Like, it's so dark and heavy in the background that it's like the outside does make you sad. So there is some sadness here, grieving over things that did not work out. But the thing is like, karma has come in here. And this is a 10, the Wheel of Fortune. So that's about things coming to a completion. You know, karma has come in. I feel like whatever in these 3 cups that didn't work out, it was karma or fate or destiny as to why they didn't work out. Now look, there are 2 people on this wheel, and I just said a second ago, like the 2 of Cups. So, and look, they each have a cup in their hand. Okay? So it's like there's that 2 of Cups. And you see how like a third person's getting kicked off. The third wheel. So, and then there's 3 cups upside down right here, but yet 2 cups standing. So, there could have been a third party situation. Now karma's come in and one person's getting kicked off. Now there's just being left with a partnership. But, I mean, that could be one case scenario. Keep in mind this is a general reading. But there's something here that destiny and or fate, like there's a higher calling. It came in with like this hand. There's a hand right there. That hand has come in and grabbed the little thing, the handle, and is changing the wheel. And you see, like, this is all because there's a new opportunity, new prosperity, new abundance lying somewhere else. It's got to be somewhere else because there's a new venture here, for sure. Somebody in the past was using their cunning, manipulative tactics, which could very well have gotten you into the situation where you're like, crying over spilt milk here. You know, someone came in and was like, they used their tools, like their words, their energy, their money, their stature, and said some things and tricked someone. And now it's like, now that you, and I would say too that, you know, because of karma and or destiny and or fate, this is a change of events here. Karma came in, you know what, because this is in a challenge position. Karma could have come in and stopped this situation because it wasn't fated. It wasn't destined. And there did need to be a change. So karma could have come in and changed that. I know this isn't like the justice card, because I keep saying karma. But the wheel of fortune is like you reap what you sow. Like destiny always, you know, like comes forward. The bill always comes due. And a higher power is like, somebody's got to go. It's kind of what I feel with this person getting kicked off. And I'm not trying to flip you the bird here, so don't take my this Pluto retrograde or anything like that. I just happen to use it as my pointer. So, there's been a change of events here. And the whole thing about this whole change, and maybe that's why, like with this Five of Cups, you know, you still have some options behind you. And, you know, this is all going down because of something new coming in. A new way of, a new opportunity, a new venture, prosperity. Like, there's something trying to bloom here. So it's like, and you see again, like there's the hand. And then there's the hand. It's like the hand came in to throw this off because maybe if you hadn't gone through this detour, then you wouldn't have found this. So it's like, yeah, so don't get too lost in the sadness because it was, I would say, fated. And I am saying fated. F-A-T-E-D. Fated. Now, the Queen of Pentacles here. She's in reverse. She's also looking back at the Magician who's in reverse. So, right now, this is where someone who's normally in their element, who is practical, someone who is normally comfort, like secure in themselves, someone who's practical, somebody who's abundant. You know, she's not in that element. And I don't think that she's happy. And, you know, this could very well be the same queen that is crying over the spilt milk here. She's looking back into the past at who manipulated her. So it's like whoever caused the manipulation, you could be looking back in the past to that person. And, you know, it can have you all off. Like, it could have you starting to get angry at this person. You could be self-centered right now. Like, this is all about me. Look at what they did to me. Like, I can't believe they put me in this situation type deal. But I would say that we're moving into a period where something's going to come out of being frozen. Something's going to change here, because like with this Hermit, like, and that's another thing with the Hermit, like something will come back around. You know, normally, like, when we see the Hermit card, that means it's time to go into a state of contemplation, of solitude, of checking in with yourself. But we have it here in reverse, which means that this is coming out of, like, you may still be in somewhat isolation or withdrawal, but you know now the answers. So it may not be right now that this wisdom comes to you, but I think as you move through this cycle here, this pattern, whatever this may be, whenever you move through it, I believe that you're going to get the answers that you seek. You're going to find out exactly what happened. And it may still, I've heard some people say, like I said, with the Hermit, that when it's, something's going to come back around. And you know, this time, if it comes back around, you may isolate yourself, you may withdraw from it, you may even reject it. Like once where, you know, you wanted it, maybe because of this whole situation, now it's like, you don't want it no more. You've seen what it's done in the past. You've seen how this, and you know, the truth could come out about this person right here, okay? Whether this is you or someone else, the truth is going to come out about this person. This whole situation has something to do with, now I'm getting other messages. So this whole situation is based around something that you thought was going to be a new opportunity, a new business venture, something that was going to take off and grow, and maybe it didn't. Evidently it didn't. Something came in and changed the situation. Your advice here, Eight of Wands in reverse. Like your I think that with everything that's going on here for you, you may not be really talking to too many people. You may not be talking to this person. Okay? Your advice is to slow down here. Not to go at it all fast right now. Take your time. And it could be too because of this Hermit card. Even though this is still, you know, going into isolation, seeking the self, finding the self, looking within. Even though you're coming out of that, because like this whole like time that this has been going on, you could be in a situation where you've been alone, you've had a long time to think about this, and so here soon, I would say in the next few weeks, you're going to be coming out of like that complete isolation, that being in that shell, melding in the things that are going on around you and digesting that Five of Cups energy. And when that comes about, if you don't feel like taking action towards something, don't, because that is like the advice here is to not take action. In your environment, we have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of pages are, they could be, yeah, they're messages. So you could receive a message from this person or from someone that that really shows their greed, their laziness, their lack of commitment. Because someone, whoever it is that's in your environment here, they and it could be too that you are dealing with an earth sign here, but I don't see things really moving with them. And then we have the Hanged Man. So it's like you're hoping that the answers are going to come. You're hoping that that you may even be hoping that you will be able to release yourself from this situation. You could be hoping that you're able to cut your ties and move on, that it doesn't continuously pop up in your mind. You could have fears that you're going to be tied to it, that you're going to be stuck with it, and it's going to haunt you. But those are fears. This is the time, especially with the moon starting to wane, that there's a lot of releasing going on. So it could be that this whole situation, this predicament, needs to be released. Yeah, there's not going to be a partnership here. So something's not going to come together. There's not going to be the teamwork that you thought once was going to come from this. So it may be time to, you see it for what it is. This could also be group conflict, disorganization. So someone's not going to be coming together here. I'm going to clarify a few things here. Let's see. Now these I haven't shuffled. Prepare yourself for clarifiers. What messages and guidance do you have for clarification? What messages do you want clarified? Alright, so around this hold on, let me check. Okay. Alright, so the situation here that we have at hand. We have eternal love. There we go, that's better. So, 2 skeletons, 2 gravestones. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. So, it's something, let me just read from the book here. Eternal love. All of us are the product of the millennia of love. Our parents, our ancestors by blood and ritual, all have in the same way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some ways, that feeling could be described as an absence of love in the absence of that person or being. So this could very well be a breakup, an ending of a friendship, an ending of a relationship. Regardless if you are in a relationship with someone or like this is just a friend and something happened, whichever way the cookie crumbles, this is somewhat about a partnership and a fallout. So, the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and our lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about. That is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers. It leaves its own legacy, and we would be aware of this every day that we live. Or we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring a partner, it also indicates that a significant love is close at hand and be ready to open up to this new experience. Okay, so this is around and has to do with something with either a friendship, a partnership, a contract, or something ending. So now I want to go over here. Okay, so in this time here of isolation, where you withdraw and walk away, you have the jack-o'-lantern, which is all about protection. So even while you do this, there is protection at hand while maybe you go out and seek. Maybe you are looking for, like I said, the answers, the illumination. Might as well say illumination because like there's light within the pumpkin. Halloween wouldn't be the same without the carving of pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns. Glowing, hold on a second, menacingly from porches, dinner tables, and porches everywhere. Jacks actually have a rich history and a spiritual bent. The original term jack-o'-lantern was a will-o'-the-wisp, an old British term. The will-o'-the-wisp was a small bundle of sticks used as a flame or a torch. The Celts, the Irish, and those living in the Scottish Highlands all carved winter vegetables, not just pumpkins, but also parsnips, carrots, and beets. The time around Samhain, Halloween, was of course when the Fae and the goblins were said to be roaming wild, so the lanterns were intended to be both scary, scaring off the undesirable, and to light the way in the dark. Right. So, if you feel like this situation is going to push you into darkness, you will have, and look, like his lantern. See, I love how spirit works. We've got a lantern, and we have a jack-o'-lantern. So, the lantern is lit. There is illumination. Like, you will receive the the darkness will be brought to the light. Let's just say that. Alright, so, keep in mind, though, that it can be scary and funny. Both electric light and candles now illuminate the inside of lanterns. Moonpie! Get your claws out of that! Sorry about that. Know that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life you want, and the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones you have or to establish new ones. Now, earlier I said with this card that something could be coming back around with this card, okay? So, there is protection, there will be elimination, and when and if, now this is not going to be for all people, but when and if, this could be 3 weeks to 3 months, okay, that this person or thing comes back around. You may need, and I have a sense here, I'm going to say for at least 50% of you, this situation, this person, whatever, is going to come back around in 3 weeks to 3 months, okay? Yes, because there's another 3. So when this thing or person comes back around, you then will have to set some new boundaries either for them or for yourself. Okay? Like if if people don't follow your boundaries, you set some boundaries within yourself, and you follow the boundaries for yourself. And when you follow those, then you'll see that the other people have to also follow those. Now, I'm going to check this card here where it said, be still. Oh. So we have skeleton here with strength. And, there is a huge glow around this skeleton's head. Like, again, illumination. Halloween is a scary festival. It is meant to frighten. We are meant to feel the release of being pleasantly scared. We trick-or-treat even though we know that someone may surprise us. We watch horror films knowing that they will scare us, and even dress as skeletons who have no flesh at all, and their bones are there for all to see. In short, we show our vulnerability at Halloween and our strength in facing our fears too. There is an incredible strength in showing vulnerability. It can be the bravest course of action and the most frightening. More often than not, it is a powerful catalyst for personal growth, even though we may not be able to perceive that at this time. By showing our true selves and displaying some balanced vulnerability, we can seek and receive greater understanding from others. By admitting that we are wrong or that we don't have the solution when we are expected to, we leave more room to turn things around faster. By asking for help and support rather than acting as martyrs and feeling resentful shows strength and wisdom, not weakness. Should the skeleton card bring itself to your attention, dare to show strength and vulnerability if that is what you feel. Shame, pride, grudges, or embarrassment are hefty burdens that should not need carried through the darkest of nights. Okay. Like with this card here. This is telling you, whatever you feel, if you feel like something's not going to move forward or work for you, if there are things that you talk about or that you try to attempt to do and they start bringing panic, first off, you got to keep the skeleton in mind here, okay? Your advice here is to slow down, okay? Don't go so fast. Slow down and allow things to unfold. Follow the things that bring you joy and passion and peace, contentment, okay? Be careful of shame, pride, and grudges, because like the skeleton card says, they are hefty burdens that need not to be carried through the darkest of nights. So if you feel like you are somewhat going through a dark night of the soul right now, okay, don't wallow in the panic or the things that feel uneasy. Alright, this Page of Pentacles in reverse. Alright. Now, I feel like when this person comes back around, and I do feel like they are, I feel like they're going to come in with you're going to notice that when they come, they're not going to be ambitious or very diligent, okay? There is laziness here about this card, okay? Which even shows its face too in the outcome about this teamwork. So with them, we have this midnight, which is the most magical hour of all. Alright, so the middle of the night, midnight, is the hour in which it is believed that ghosts, witches, ghouls, and magic are most likely to be active. Transition times, such as noon, between the tides, or even the dark moon, are traditionally powerful times for magical transformation. In some traditions, the witching hour is seen as 3 a.m. because it is the opposite to the time that Jesus is said to have died at 3 p.m. But there is some consensus that midnight is the time of greatest magic, particularly around Halloween. As soon as the clock strikes midnight on Halloween, it is said that the spirits flow forward through the veil, and if benevolent, bring positive messages. If not so benevolent, they are mischievous and play tricks, at best or at worst cause havoc. So keep in mind, because remember when I said this person right here used their tactics. Okay, this person could be coming back in. So yes, this is a positive message that they're coming back in, but also keep in mind that they could still be mischievous and play tricks. They still could be at their old self. Allow yourself to relax into the benevolent darkness of midnight. You may feel this is your darkest hour, but know that light will return again. The dawn always follows the darkest night, and know too that it's important to recognize that we all have darkness within us, just as we have light. And this isn't something to hide from. This person that you're dealing with, they could be hiding from their inner true self. They could be going through a dark night of the soul right now, and that could be why that they're out. Now too, if you also delve into magic, and I'm not saying go delve into magic, the midnight hour could be your time that you should be casting spells or doing rituals or your law of attraction or speaking words to help call this person back in, if that's what you're trying to do. I would still, if and when this person comes back, you need to make sure you have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and you need to have an ace up your sleeve and be ahead of your game and on top of it, because I feel like this person is still going to come in being the little trickster that they are. Now, for the Three of Pentacles, this was our outcome, that Three of Pentacles, that lack of teamwork. Here we have zombie with control. Now look at that moon, okay? So we're actually moving into this moon here. So this is going to be like, I don't know when the new moon is. Let me see when the new moon is real quick. Because alright, so the new moon is going to be, what day is this? May 22nd. So that's a whole week from now. So I would say around the new moon may be when this person comes back around. So remember that new moon. And let's see what the zombie card says. Alright. Zombies have become quite the fashion recently, much like vampires. Turn on television and you can't escape the moaning and groaning of these living dead. And yes, they do seem to be after your brains. There are even public zombie walks where people dress up as zombies and appear on roads and in the cities. But zombies are not merely a fun icon of popular culture. Traditionally, they are mainly associated with the African and Haitian voodoo religion. Zombies are said to be dead bodies reanimated by incantations chanted by a learned practitioner called a boker, and they are usually enlivened for a purpose. The practitioner is said to capture part of the living soul to animate the body, and that it is always a temporary action, as the soul cannot be contained in that decomposing body for long, or God will take the soul back. One of the most frightening aspects of the idea of zombieism is that the idea of our souls and consciousness being trapped inside a body that does not do our bidding but someone else's. Another is the idea of being buried alive. The fate of some, it is said, who get trapped in already dead bodies. Should the zombie step unsteadily into your life, it's time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expansion? Do you choose partners who are not equal so they are more easily manipulated and changing to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that. So if this person comes back around, again, I've probably said this too many times. I feel like they are. You will need to have some control. Are you, and you also too need to pay attention at how they're, like, what words they use. I would pay attention because, like, you can, for me, I know for myself, because of someone's actions, their words, and what they say, I can pretty much read them. But I'll tell you, I can see myself in a situation I have going on in my life, and I have asked myself over and over again, how did this go wrong? And I said to myself, you used to say this a long time ago, because this person would say things to me, okay, with their words, and I would be like, right. So I would believe them. And I am, again, now that I've had some enlightenment here, like that Hermit card, now that I'm starting to see, now I'm reminding myself, when someone says, here, honestly, or hold on, I'm going to tell you the truth. Well, that's because sometimes then they lie. Okay, if they have to tell you, well, I'm going to tell the truth here, well, then they have a part of them then lies. So, are you actually, so you might be getting the truth at that moment, but when they don't say that, then could they be lying? Like, what's hidden in those words? Why do people say those things? And it's like when people boast about themselves, oh, you know I'm not going to do this, or you know I'm a good person, you know I wouldn't do you like that. If they have to tell you that, then yes, hell they would. And that's where I'm at in my dilemma. If they have to tell you, oh, I wouldn't do you like that, yes, hell they will. Okay? So just remember that. You know what this person has been in the past, and I don't feel like they've changed here too much. So remember what's said and what isn't said. Okay? So I thank you all for tuning in. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what's going on in your world. And I'll see you all again here soon. Take care and namaste.